Hello and welcome to the second episode of our Rimworld series. I am going to be trying to edit this a little bit differently this time. I felt there was a little bit too many cuts in the last one, so let me know if you like this different editing style I'm trying out in this one. But anyways, let's get to the gameplay. Checking in on our colonists, we can see Julian is in a little bit of a rough spot here. Her sleep has been disturbed 3 times, which I don't know how to help her with that one. She ate without a table. Julian is complaining because she ate without a table. That's on me, Julian. I'll get right to that one. Aside from the table, she is also upset mostly about how awful our barracks are, which we will try and fix here soon, but I don't think we're really in a spot where we can do much about that. I do, however, have one idea for how I will improve Julian's condition, but I will save that surprise for later. Cobalt, despite being misogynist, is actually not in the worst mood, and he actually has a good relationship with the women in our colony, which is kind of cool to see. But we'll see how long that good mood lasts, because I'm the one that's looking after him, and I am incompetent. Looking ahead, it looks like our colony is doing okay, but we have no defenses, so the next time a raider comes by, we probably will not be looking so hot, especially considering all of our colonists are basically useless in combat. To try and at least give us a little bit of protection here against the raiders, we are going to set up some deadfall traps in a design I completely ripped off of Pete Complete from his Ice Sheet series, but it's pretty much my only idea for making our base safer, so sorry Pete, I'm gonna have to take this one. I was going to use wood deadfall traps, or spike traps, whatever you want to call them, but looking at the information on them, the steel ones are so much better than them, so I think it is definitely worth using a little bit of steel just to make sure that we can actually kill our raiders when they come through these. I'll leave the colonists with the plans to make that little deadfall design, but in the meantime, we need to actually start thinking about our food situation. Our food situation's not too dire right now, we still do have some reserves, but we have no way of making any new food. We do have a turkey who has been chilling in our base this entire time pretty much, but I kinda like him, so I'm gonna hold off on killing him. Instead, I'm thinking I'm going to start planning out this building here. This building should be able to cover the cooking of meat and plants and butchering animals and storing food. I'm pretty much going to try to have an all-in-one type situation over here. Okay, so this honestly took way longer than I expected to design this, but I think I like where it's at now. So on the right, there's like a dining room. I barely would call it that. It is a tiny room with a table and 4 chairs, but it is what it is. I don't know if the colonists would like that, but I figure why not. But more importantly, we now have this stockpile here, which has like raw corpses, and then this one's for like the actual cooked meals or the processed meat. So we'll get an animal from the left room, bring it down into the butchering room, which is right below it, and then once that meat is like processed and it's cut up, then we will put it in the stockpile room. And that room will also store all the cooked meals, and then underneath the rightmost stockpile is the actual cooking room where we'll try to process stuff and make it into some simple meals. I'm curious, I separated these rooms intentionally because I figure butchering will get really dirty and things like that, and then also I don't know if you would want corpses next to your actual like food that you want to eat. But I'm not sure if that actually matters. I don't know if the kind of environment around your food impacts the likelihood of getting food poisoning and such, so I'm curious to see if that's true. Anyways, right now we're trying to get a little bit of wood because these are some pretty hefty plans. There is nowhere near enough wood in our current stockpiles to be able to get this completely finished, but already our colonists are actually getting a pretty good start on it. And we do have that turkey straggling his way inside of our base right now. I would like to get a name for this turkey. I don't intend on really taming him because that sounds like a waste of time. And he is also already trapped in our base anyways, so there's not much of a point of taming him. He'll just stick around and eat on his own anyways, so I think he's fine as is, but I'd like to get a name for him still. So if you guys have any suggestions for his name, let me know in the comments. But moving on, we need to get some power into this room. I am going to just throw down some conduits, but I am a little unsure about this situation. We have power, we have a wind turbine, but we have no batteries, and wind is not a really reliable thing. It's not always going to be windy, and I have a feeling that that's not going to work very well for us because our power going in and out all the time is not going to be great. But anyways, looking down here, we actually have our colonists. Oh, we have our first raid. I don't think it's going to be anything too difficult for us, but I am going to get Cobalt on the ready here. I'd like to try and get the defenses ready before this happens. It is just one raider with a steel mace, it looks like, so I don't really think it's going to be that difficult, but if he manages to avoid all of our traps, then we will have a little bit of a situation. So hopefully our colonists can quickly finish this up and we can be safe behind our traps. And we do have a few empty tiles in our base, but I think this should be good enough. And yep, we are just fine. The first trap was enough to completely take out the raider, and we can leave our colonists to haul the goods away and put the corpse somewhere that they will not see it. I am going to try and make a designated corpse area. I want it to be somewhat close to our base because if it is, then hopefully that could make raiders have a mood penalty. I don't know if it works like that. I'm not sure if a raider would care too much about dead bodies, but worth a shot, I guess. But what I do know for sure is that our colonists do not want to see dead bodies. So maybe this will work, maybe not, but either way, I'm going to kind of put them in a spot where other people will see them, but not our colonists. So that's what this wall is going to be for here. So the wall will be like a line of sight blocker for our colonists, but anyone that's going to raid our base is clearly going to see right past us. They're going to be approaching from this direction. So maybe this will help us, maybe not. Either way, we need a place to put some corpses. One minor detail I overlooked is that this raider is not dead at all, so Julian's gonna need to take care of that. Hopefully we can just melee attack them to death. This is a really slow process. Oh my god, wow. Yeah, that took a while. I feel bad for Julian to have to do that, but it is done now, and we have a stockpile for the corpse, so we can start hauling things away here. And using that wood there, she actually got a pretty good start on the wall. Once that wall's built, I'll feel a little bit better about our colonists leaving the base to go get supplies, but for now, I really don't want them to be taking a mood penalty every time for seeing those dead corpses. I am thinking now it is a good time to maybe get our food reserves up a little bit. The strawberries are just not quite handling things for us. They are so slow to grow. I am going to instead make a little growing zone for some rice. I don't think we're too pressed for food. As you can see in the food reserves, we have a little bit, but it could become bad here soon. So I'm going to take care of that with some extra rice, and hopefully our colonists should be happy with that. So, looking ahead a bit, our colony is now in a little bit of a better spot. We have some defenses, and more importantly, that cooking stove is finally done. There isn't a place to store our food yet, but at least we can make it. So, that's a little bit of progress, and we'll take it. I'm going to set up a bill for some simple meals, and we're going to start cooking those, except we still do have one problem. There is pretty much nothing for us to cook right now. Before worrying about getting any food, though, we kind of have to have a place to put it. We do have the stockpiles to put our food in, and they are designated for them, but right now they're, like, no better than just putting them under a roof. They aren't any cooler than any other area, so they don't do us much good. I am going to just try and put a vent there and a cooler, but you can already see our stove's offline right now. It has no power because our wind turbine is pretty unreliable, and without any other additional source of power or any batteries, that's probably going to happen to our cooler too. Still though, we're going to put the cooler down and eventually we'll have to try to fix that power situation, but it definitely can't hurt. So I'm putting a cooler there on the right, so we can actually get some cold air in, and I'm setting up a vent so that the cold air moves into both rooms so they both stay cold. Now, I also put in, like, on the left side, a kind of airlock kind of thing, and I am curious to hear if that actually matters. I don't know if that's going to keep the cold air in and out, or if that was just a waste of another door. Okay, and with our last conduit going down here, our cooler system should be connected up soon. Our colonists are sleeping away right now, aside from Fishero. Fishero seems to be awake much more often than the other colonists. I don't know why that is. Maybe they're a light sleeper or something. But anyways, the structure there for holding our food should be done here pretty soon, hopefully within a day or two, so that we can get the situation under control. Right now, though, I'm going to put in the big reveal. The way I was planning on fixing Julian's situation, where she constantly wants to die, is actually a stick in the ground. So I've got that installed now, and I'm pretty sure that should help her out. Just in case somehow a stick in the ground's not enough for her, though, I am going to install a chess table there. I don't know if they need chairs to be able to use that, but it's there, so hopefully they can use it. Okay, this building is now looking pretty good. It's getting roofed over. The cooking area is pretty much done, so we can use that here soon. But I think we might want to put some lights in there. I don't know if I want them butchering things in the dark. I feel like that's a good way to make them cut themselves. I wonder if they actually can cut themselves while butchering. This game has so much detail to it, I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if a light helped them not cut themselves too, so I am definitely curious to see what happens here. I do have some experience in the game, like I was saying, like I've played through a little bit, but we are already fast approaching where the ends of my knowledge of Rimworld kind of end, and we're getting into some new territory here. So things are going to get a little bit more sketchy as we go on, but I am definitely excited to learn. As you can see here, I kind of thought about putting down the wind turbine there, but I just don't see how much good it's going to do for us. The problem with the wind turbine isn't that it doesn't produce enough power, it's that it's inconsistent. So instead of worrying about that, I think we should instead more or less just kind of focus on getting more power sources, maybe solar, geothermal, and most importantly probably is getting some kind of battery system. Before we can implement any of those things, though, we kind of have to research them. And this goes really well for us because one of our colonists is idle, which means that this is a perfect time to start researching. So I'm going to put the research bench in their barracks and just have that installed so that our colonists can slowly work towards getting some new technologies. And looking down here, our strawberry plants are pretty much just about ready, which is really good timing because you can see that we have most of our shelter for our food made. We just got to get that airlock done, and it's just about done. So once we get these strawberries harvested, we can finally make some simple meals and not be in such a risky food situation. So we have the bill for making simple meals now, but we don't have anything to use for it yet. But I think we can find a solution for that. We're gonna try and kill something. Probably not the Megasloth, because that seems risky, but that's been wandering around our base for a while. there is a guinea pig actually pretty close to our base. So I'm going to send Julian out on a little hunting mission to kill a guinea pig. This feels kind of brutal, honestly, but Julian takes it out in a single shot, and I guess we have food, but I'm not sure at what moral cost that was. So I'm now going to have Julian haul this back to our base, and hopefully we can turn this into some simple meals. First, though, we do have to have this butchered, so I will get that done. I'm just going to have them butcher things forever, so hopefully we don't have corpses in our room. We can just always have them butchered, pretty much. I don't know. I don't know if there's any benefit to keeping things in a corpse state versus being in a butchered state, so I don't see any reason why not to just butcher them as quick as possible. But yeah, that's where I'm thinking right now. And the guinea pig has now been butchered, but I want to check this out. We have Yayo here, actually, which I was going to actually get, but it's drugs, and I don't think we want to touch drugs. But this actually might be good. This is Synthered, which I have no idea what it's for, but since I've never seen it before, that tells me it's probably rare, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and, pick that up and do something with it. I'm not sure what, but I'll figure it out in the future. Alright, so looking ahead a bit, we have this turkey here, and I'm not going to lie, in an alternate universe, this turkey just got slaughtered, because I realized the guinea pig literally didn't even give me enough food for a single meal to be made. But I know that turkey would. But since he's kind of part of the colony now, I'm gonna spare him. Instead, I am going to take the way riskier approach, and I'm thinking about killing that Megasloth. And I'm gonna have our colonists cut down some wood so we get the airlock done while we worry about hunting that. So, this Megasloth does make me a little bit nervous. It is huge, and I'm going to assume it would do a lot of damage if it were to hit us. So, I'm going to try and make sure that our colonists do not get in any situation where it ever could hit us. So, I'm going to use these doors to my advantage here and close them. I don't remember if these traps could kill a Megasloth or any animal like that, but I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to close those doors and have Julian try and stay as close to the base as possible while shooting at this. She completely missed her first shots, so that's not too great. Okay, but she did land one, and he's out of range. So we got to get Julian a little bit closer there, but hopefully not too far away from the base. Okay, firing again, getting some more hits in. I just need the Sloth to be at a point where it will bleed out on its own at least. So we don't even have to necessarily kill it, it just needs to be very injured. But we are now really landing our shots, so hopefully we can just take this down without a problem. Okay. And it is now fighting back, so the situation has just gotten a lot more dangerous. I'm going to start heading back towards the base, but we can see here its injuries are going to be completely fatal. We really don't have to fight it more at all, but it is so slow that I'm not too worried about it, so I'll try to get in range of a shot at least, maybe 2 or 3 before going back to the base. I gotta play this a little bit carefully to avoid taking damage. Okay, and that's a miss. Okay, but with that, we have knocked the Megasloth down, and we are officially safe for... Oh, never mind. It immediately got back up. Okay, now the Megasloth is down. So we have a big source of food now, and no one got injured during that process. With the Megasloth killed, I feel like this is a good place to end off the episode. We should be good on our food reserves now, because I imagine this will give us a ton of food, so I'm not too worried about things right now. So, in the future episodes, I may or may not keep this editing style. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoy this. I honestly have not gotten very many views on my Rimworld stuff, but I enjoy making it, so I'm going to keep doing it, but I still want to at least have it be as good as possible for watching. So please let me know what style you think fits this kind of content the best. But again, I really appreciate you guys watching as always, and I will see you in the next one.